How are psychiatric disorders socially constructed by Richard Woods at London South Bank University, PhD student, and I'm currently in a gap year. So, this is a diagram that I made 2 years ago to explain my thinking on how psychiatric disorders are socially constructed. So, you'll see on the left hand side 5 different kind of factors that you feed into how a person's spiky profile can present at any particular moment in time. So you've got the present situation, number of positive experiences over the lifespan, again, aversive experiences and trauma. The adverse experiences can feed into trauma and kind of biological factors. So this is to represent transaction aspects of human development and how to present in a particular moment in time, and that a person's spiky profile therefore feeds into how diagnostic categories like autism, ADHD, borderline personality disorder, etc., are constructed and defined. So that then feeds into kind of cultural views, which then kind of feeds back into like potential traumatic experiences as aversive experiences, like positive experiences and present situations. But there's interesting in a loop to the diagram. So a person's spiky profile therefore fits into a person's biases around a particular diagnostic category like autism, ADHD, and borderline personality disorder. So, represented by this arrow, but there's also interchangeable arrows going both ways between kind of personal self biases and kind of culture views, and they feed into kind of assessors. Bias, that's a clinician or practitioner, observer bias, such as a caregiver or teacher's bias, and again, also personal bias, all fit into how the psychiatric categories are constructed. So, and this makes sense. So, for example, if you look at the male bias for autism, that's argued to be because of the current diagnostic criteria and diagnostic tools for autism are based primarily on male samples or how autism tends to present in males, which obviously then fits into cultural views and then into assessors' views. And we know from systematic reviews on the topic that clinicians' bias can be a barrier to autistic females being diagnosed with autism. And likewise, it also works for the kind of misdiagnosis of many autistics with borderline personality disorder that they're kind of appallingly treated, it can lead to trauma, and they present in a particular way, which then leads them to interacting with kind of practitioners. They're given borderline personality disorder diagnosis. After a period of time, the borderline personality disorder diagnosis is removed, and they're then also later assessed for autism and get an autism diagnosis, which has happened for kind of many autistics, particularly autistic females, or those not conforming to kind of autism stereotypes. So, why am I talking about this diagram? Because it affects my views and approach to PDA and also to why I have a post-autistic identity. So, one of the reasons for having a post-autistic identity was in trying to not base my identity on these categories and instead just say that I am Richard Woods and I have demand-avoidance, impulsivity, anxiety, etc. It's to try and avoid the kind of the stigma and prejudice that comes from using these categories and how they can be used to define a person. Related towards my approach to PDA, basically I'm trying to remove all the biases that are currently kicking around PDA from the hype and the intense interest around it, and just focusing on what features actually are represented by it and what causes are actually represented with it. So I'm basically trying to avoid all these assumptions that have been made around PDA and all the claims around it, and just focus on actually what is going on with it, what does it actually represent. So yeah, this just means to link on the next video in this kind of short series of shorts of me talking about why this tweet is important. So this is from it's Emily Katie on Twitter from a couple of days ago, and it says, if you're an autistic person, you feel that your experience an autistic trait differently to the way everyone else seems to experience it, that doesn't mean your experience is not valid and that you're any less autistic. I 100% agree with that, and I'm going to be talking about how this matters towards me and the attacks I'm receiving from some autistics and PDA. So yeah, on that note, May 1 stimming activities be many, and 1 46 long.